Hi everybody. Sorry that I am a little late. I just was having trouble with my little program here, so sorry that I'm 2 minutes late here. Um Today we are going to discuss respecting online sewing spaces. So this is kind of, I don't know. I don't know if everybody realizes kind of what sewing bloggers do, or how we can all be kind to each other. There was an issue recently in the group, and I would love to, I actually think it's a good time to highlight this again. I talked about this, I think it was when I was pregnant, so it's been more than a year. Talked about this a while ago. But this is a Facebook group that is, I think, an incredibly supportive, positive, thoughtful place. When I say positive, I don't mean it's all, rainbows and unicorns or anything. Like, we talk about hard stuff too, which I appreciate, but we are on the internet. This is a Facebook group, and not, I try my best to vet, the people who we let into the group, etc., but I can't control everyone who comes in the group. So when you post photos of yourself, this probably isn't like the best thing for someone to say who is, trying to keep on building their group and everything, but you need to know that those photos are out of your hands after that, especially on Facebook. People can screenshot the group. People can save your photos who are part of the group. And I think people have different levels of comfort with certain things that they post. So I want you to be aware of that. I think Denise said it best. Somebody was like, so the issue was that a screenshot from the group showed up in another group, and actually 2 screenshots showed up from our group in another group, and they actually weren't of anyone's specific creations, but they were it was in a shaming group about, shaming the idea about this clothing, etc. So, that's not cool. Like, don't do that. If you do it, I'm just gonna kick you out of the group. I'm just kicking you out of the group. Shaming groups, obviously I know about this because some of the group members who are in my group are in another group, and found this out, and it's fun to have a laugh sometimes, but thinking that it's somehow secret on the internet, on Facebook, is a big misunderstanding of how it works. So, when you post on Facebook, you're automatically giving up quite a bit of privacy. I know this. It's a risk I'm willing to take, but just so you know, other people could see what you're posting, what you're commenting on. You don't know exactly who's in the group. So this goes for, all sorts of things. So just be aware of that, and that's one way that Facebook kind of gathers information about us. And so anyway, someone commented, Levi, you should be able to see it. You should be able to see what's going on. Okay, so you need to be careful. Someone commented earlier before the broadcast started that there's a new pattern group right now with a new fun lingerie pattern. Women are sharing photos of themselves that they wouldn't share with their friends, and they're all getting a big confidence boost by showing how anybody can be sexy. It's so amazing to see the shift in body image worries happening in that group. We can't let anyone shame us about our clothes or our bodies. The shame is only on the person who violates someone else's privacy by reposting images that aren't theirs. So, while I agree with that, and I don't think that, I don't think anyone should be ashamed. I want you all to be I want to be very clear. I don't want to give some illusion that I can offer some kind of security that I cannot give. So, if you do post a photo in the group, just know that. Denise said someone said this is a safe space, and Denise said, well, this is a monitored, space that is heavily moderated, and that's very true. But I mean, anywhere on Facebook, you just need to be careful what you post. Now, I post pictures of myself in my underwear. I'm cool with that. Like, I wouldn't care if obviously I don't care if my mom sees it because we run the business together. I don't know, like, my mother-in-law and my husband's cousins, and who else can I think of? Future employers. I don't know. Like, think about that. Yeah, don't post anything that you wouldn't be comfortable with the entire world seeing, because even though this is a closed group, even if you're in a secret group, you never know what can happen. This actually was an issue in the Lingerie Addicts group. So, that is a fabulous, wonderful group. And obviously people are posting pictures of themselves in their underwear all the time. And someone actually, this was rather malicious. The person started taking screenshots and posting them on their social media profile, making fun of people. It was just really gross and very silly and awful, But I had a little conversation with Cora, who is the moderator of that group and head of the Lingerie Addict blog, which is this gigantic, wonderful blog that I love. And I said that I had this conversation with my group before, and I think it's important, a responsibility of mine to say that I cannot absolutely, protect you from this sort of behavior. It would be a false promise to say that I can do that. But I can try my best to keep it that way. So, this sort of helps me segue into something else. So, bottom line, if you take screenshots and you post them in other groups, that's not cool. And honestly, this is somewhere where I caught myself. I was on my phone, and I was scrolling through the Lingerie Addict group, okay? And someone had posted a picture of themselves in some underwear that I loved. And I was just about to be like, oh, Derek, look at this bra. And the reason I wanted to share it with him was because, I just thought it was really cool, right? But I stopped myself. And, no one's ever going to know if you do this or not. But I thought, oh, wait, this person did not post this photo for anyone but the group members to see. And so I did stop myself there. Now, no one would have known had I shown my husband that photo. I guess unless he, went online and testified about it. But, yeah, just keep that in mind. The only privacy that you can expect is, what's provided by Facebook, which is none. But you could help by respecting other people's privacy. So, this brings me to my next thing about respecting online sewing spaces. And I don't mean to, be like a complainer or a whiner or anything like that. But this sewing group is my business. It's my mom's business. We run it together. And we spend a lot of time moderating and answering questions and creating content for the group. It's a fun place to be. And we spend time here. And the rules of our group state that you're not allowed to promote yourself or share items to sell or things like that. So things like affiliate links are not allowed, etc. I've been being really nice and trying to message people and just delete their posts and stuff, but I'm just gonna start having to put the hammer down. So why does this happen? First of all, I think one reason is I just don't think people understand that they might be self-promoting because maybe their social profile that they're sharing from or their blog or something like that is not meant for profit. And I completely understand that. So I have to make the blanket rule because I can't ever absolutely tell if someone is doing something for profit or not. The other thing is I curate this group, and it's a nice place to be because of the time that we put into it. And so it's sort of like having a store, and we have a no soliciting sign on it. So I have worked to create this nice space. There's 19,000 people in there, and if if one thought, oh, I'd love to share this with 19,000 people because then, people would click on my link. Well, there it is. Okay. I have worked, and ZD has worked, to create this space and create this audience of dedicated stitchers. And, if we didn't do it for in order to sustain our lives or, like for money, maybe it would be different. There are groups like that, and they're not heavily moderated. They are not places where people, are like the mods are putting in a lot of time, and then if it bothers you that I say that we do this group to make money, it's our business. That's what we do. And I think that in the sewing world, people are often forced to apologize for making money in this area, because sewing is just supposed to be like this nice thing. I find this to be like residual sort of stuff, like women aren't supposed to charge for the work that they do. Clothing has generally been the work of, women, and it's obviously devalued in our society because clothing is so cheap. So, I'm supposed to not value my time that I put into moderating the group because, I don't know, it's not that important, or it's just sewing. Well, to that, I say, BS. And I would have said the real thing had I not been live. And it could have marked this explicit. But yeah, I think I want to be really real about how much work goes into this. And I'm trying to even, get better at it. And I buy, programs and stuff. And then Rachel says, links make me immediately distrust the poster. Maybe I'm jaded, but that's how they rub me. Of course, not your affiliate links, Mallory. Okay, yeah, so I post affiliate links because I'm trying to run this group full time and create classes and everything. And I should be disclosing them. I realize that I've missed some of that in some of my posts. So I should be disclosing all of my affiliate links so that people know that. So I have to disclose them, all that jazz. Yeah, Fred says, anything that is traditionally women's knowledge is expected to be given for free. Cough, I'm a lactation educator. Cough. Yes. So, yeah, and I think a lot of times people just expect a bunch of free stuff online. I mean, that's part of a lot of business models, giving stuff for free, et cetera, et cetera. So, I don't know. I mean, it's a fine balance between all of this stuff, and I don't think everybody realizes that. So if someone posts an affiliate link in our group, obviously they see the value in my group. Okay? I see the value in my group too. So just keep this in mind. Now, there are groups that don't mind affiliate links. It's not in the rules. So, yay. So I also allow links if it's helpful to someone. Someone says, I think this, I don't know. This might not be Stina. I don't think so. But you have to give permission at the top for me to see your name. My blog is 99.5% non-commercial, but I do actually, on rare occasions, accept to receive products to review. But it would be hard to tell if one just took a casual look at my blog. Yeah, and I'm totally all about this. And you bloggers out there, you know how important it is and how hard it is and challenging to build your audience. And so that is what we have spent a lot of time doing. It is Stina. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. And Stina is someone who I hope you don't mind. I think it's public. You could go back at the wall and look at it. I've said, oh, Stina, you can't post your blog link here. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. We had a great conversation about it, So I appreciate that. So very much. And I try to be kind about it. But yeah, it's sort of when I see affiliate links posted, I'm like, well, obviously you think that this, you want all these people to see it. You obviously see the value in some way, but you think that I shouldn't be sort of protecting that value. And, we live in a capitalist society. We could talk about, lots of, social things that are behind this, but yeah, this is my business. And so if you have an online sewing space or an online presence, I think this is something that should be respected for you too. And I think that part of this also, if we just go back, if we get away from the affiliate links, me complaining about that, I think that when someone posts in the group, I think it's important to pay attention to their question. I can be bad at this too. I kind of can go off on a little bit of a tangent here. But, paying attention to their actual question, giving good feedback, is really important. And so I try to do that when I'm answering a question, etc. I think that is important. And it is okay to share a link. Like, say, Stina, if you wrote a blog on how to sew a collar onto a certain type of dress, and someone said, "Oh, I'm having so much trouble sewing this collar on." If it's your blog and you share a link to it, that's fine. And I don't care how monetized your blog is. If you gave helpful information there, okay. I can smell when people are just trying to promote themselves, so, so thanks so much for all of you who are respectful of the Self-Sewn Wardrobe group. I try not to take, some of these things that happen personally, but I guess that's a challenge that I have, for myself. I get very angry. I try not to share that. And if you, have an urge, to post to one of the shaming groups or something like that, if you do it from this site, you will be removed immediately. And I'm starting to get less and less tolerant of promotional posts too. So if you have a Facebook page, and I know that some of you get this because I follow your Facebook pages. For example, Fred has a Facebook page for her sewing stuff, and Fred, do you have a blog that's associated with that, or is it just a Facebook page right now? It's called Downright Prolific, okay? And she posts her sewing stuff there. She posts it on her Downright Prolific Instagram, and stuff like that. But then she'll come in the group and she'll make a separate post. It might be the same pictures, might be the copy and pasted thing, but there's no link to her, actual page, And I think that that's a really good, it might be a piece of guidance that I put up farther in the, put up more prominently in the rules. Really, most things shared in the group should be pictures of what you're working on or what you've made. I'm actually I've been a little bit kind of I don't even know if I want people to be sharing links, when people share links to the pants that are wide-legged on one side and skinny on the other, and then we just get all these comments about how people hate it. Okay, how much did that serve us in in furthering our sewing goals? Lauren just joined in yellow. Lauren has a sewing blog, and anyway, she's very respectful of the rules. I follow her sewing blog on Facebook, and here's the thing, if you've got a blog and you share it on Social Saturday, I love to share this kind of content with people, in the newsletter, or, if there's something useful, I'll share it with the group, but it's all about being thoughtful and respecting other people's sewing spaces. So, yeah, maybe it was just a chance for me to, do a little mini rant here. I apologize if that's what it's turned into, but I so appreciate all of you. Everybody who's watching here is probably someone who is thoughtful about the group. Everyone who's watching I'm probably preaching to the choir here, but I think, I keep thinking about writing a little blog post of why it's not okay to promote yourself in someone else's Facebook group. I think that sometimes people just actually don't understand why it might not be okay or something. I recently had an experience with a, sponsor, who, said they would send us some product, and they didn't actually, pay a sponsorship fee, but they wanted to, they wanted us to review this thing, and I was like, oh, well, we don't normally do that, and it's paid sponsorships, are they good, are they not, and it's well, I have to put in, time and effort to, promote these other products and stuff, and, once again, here I am, not valuing my time and trying to value my time, and that's important. And you know what? It's important for my audience, too. Because when I don't value my time, I can get in a rut and not deliver on things. I can get messed up. So someone said, yes, choir, but can we help in any way? And then Fred says, hey, Mal, can you touch on reading the post to see if the person wants feedback or is simply sharing? Yes. So it's important to read the post. If someone, someone posts a collared shirt and they're just feel free to compliment me. Or like, I made this collared shirt and there's like this big tuck in it or something. They didn't ask you how to fix the tuck. Leave it alone, okay? So, keep that in mind. Always try to read and respond to what the person is asking about. If they didn't ask for feedback on what color looks good on them, don't give it. And then, maybe we need a few scripts, saying, hey, we should, keep it to the topic that the original poster is posting about. Someone says, paid sponsorships annoy me. I never read / watch them. Maybe I'm a jerk. Well, technically, some of the, upkeep or we make some of our money from our site based on paid sponsorships. And that's how a lot of this media, gets made. We also support the group and the website via our membership fees. Actually, that's membership is what really keeps us going. So, it's part of how we can stay afloat, how our business is run. I think we're pretty transparent about it, Mary says, I made a Facebook faux pas inadvertently a couple years ago. As soon as I understood, I took care of it. It was so embarrassing. I can't imagine doing that on purpose, especially with clear rules you have. Yeah, so like mistakes can happen. I think that we can we can gently correct people, I think is important, because it's, Facebook and communicating online like this, it's kind of new, okay? And I know that some people would not say the things that they say to people in person that they say on Facebook. Maybe that's because they've spent their entire lives learning how to communicate in person. Well, now we got to learn how to communicate online, me included. I've learned some things. Mary says she's learned some things. So yeah, that, when I brought up the flaw in the collared shirt and just wanting to be complimented on it, someone says, yes, sometimes we fought that flaw like hell and come up with the best solution possible. Yes. So there you go. That's absolutely, what we're all about. And sometimes we do want constructive criticism. Sometimes we don't. But screenshotting and sharing something in a shaming group, it's like, I just can't let it happen. So, keep that in mind. I've seen other things happen in other groups, and it's made me check and see if that person's in my group, and, it's my group, so just delete them. I'm just going to start deleting stuff like that. Anyway, all right. Well, I love you all. It's been fabulous to talk to you again today. I loved my live with Zelda yesterday. So I need to make sure and post that to YouTube so people can see it. But yeah, thank you all. I just want to say thank you to everyone here who is respectful. You all are lovely. Hey, Kay. Yeah. Kay, you need to give me permission to see your name at the top of the video. Okay. Yes. Because I want to see you. Okay. Oh, and Rachel, I want to acknowledge your comment earlier where you said I thoughtfully report things. Yes. Love it. Thank you. So anyway, thank you to everyone who is supportive of the thoughtful environment. Thank you to everyone who is a paying member or who has been a paying member. Every bit of that contribution is helpful to us. So, thank you very much. And yeah, I'm gonna get off of here. Gonna do a couple things. And then, honestly, tomorrow is the day when I have all my kiddos at home. I'm not sure I'm gonna go live. Maybe I'll go live with Zelda again. During Jerome's nap time. Alright. Have a fabulous day, everyone. Keep the conversation going. Thanks for listening to me and about being respectful in online sewing spaces. If you have any questions or any more tips, let me know. And yeah, have an awesome day.